Hey there, Derek Rydall here, founder of the Law of Emergence and author of the best-selling books Emergence and the Abundance Project. And I'm talking today about go home and go big. And what I first want to talk about is just from a practical level. If you still are not taking things seriously, and hopefully by now that's not the case, you really need to go home. Unless you're working an essential job, you really need to go home. But I want to talk about this go home and go big. You know, we hear go big or go home, right? And it's go home and go big. And the principle here is that, first of all, going home means come back to your center. Come back to where you really come from. Come back to your real source. Come back to who and what you really are. Come back to what really matters. Because with all the distraction, when we have so much abundance and so much distraction, when we use more resources in the US by a mile than anybody else in the Western world, we are so distracted, we have so much abundance, even the quote-unquote poor, that we've lost sight of what really is important, what really matters. We focus so much on matter that we've lost sight on what matters. And right now we're getting a pause. Mother Nature has sent us to our room, and she said, think about your behaviors and what you've been up to, and then, you know, before you get out, think about what you've been doing and what you're going to do differently, and then I'll let you out of your room. So we've been sent home. But this is a great opportunity to really come home. Don't just take this time as a vacation. This is not a vacation. This is not a time to binge watch Netflix and eat frozen pizza only, okay? I like a good Netflix show and frozen pizza as much as the next person. But this is really a time of major reevaluation. This is really a time of major self-reflection, of meditation and contemplation. And I don't just mean meditation like lotus position with incense burning, although I encourage that, but I mean to really meditate upon our lives, to begin to go through the detox of our addiction to distraction and materiality and consumption, and to really have an opportunity to get clear again. You know, so much of our journey is an accumulation, not just an accumulation of stuff. If you've ever moved, you know what it's like. You're like, how in the world do I have so much stuff? Right? You might not have called it stuff. You might have called it something beginning with the letter S, but how do I have so much stuff? So we accumulate all this stuff in our car, in our trunk, in our closets, in our drawers. You know, we have a thing called a junk drawer. Do you know how ridiculous that is? That's literally just a horizontal trash can. We accumulate so much stuff that we have to have a drawer for junk, okay? But here's the thing. If you understand principles of feng shui, that's representative of all the stuff we're accumulating in our mind and in our hearts, in our energetic fields, that we are accumulating all of this past, all of these experiences, all of these traumas, all of this energy that's not moved through us, the energy in motion or emotion that has become stuck and stagnant. And our channels mentally and emotionally, astrally and etherically and energetically and literally physically have become calcified and stagnated and blocked and constipated. And without circulation, there is no life. And what's happened is little bit by little bit, the channels have become corroded and blocked, and less life can come through. And eventually, because life hasn't diminished, it begins to find other ways to break out, often destructive ways. And eventually it just explodes out in a crisis, in a breakdown, in a breakup, in a pandemic. And that's not always a bad thing. It's also an opportunity to reevaluate and to clear out, to do some spring cleaning, to go home, to really come home to ourselves and to really search the cupboards and the closets of our heart, to feng shui our heart, to spring clean our soul, to really rearrange the furniture of our mind so that it's like, I don't need that old broken down chair that I've been sitting in, staring at the screen of my mind inside of me. I don't need that anymore. It's time to go home, to really come home, to really look around at the place we've been living, in our physical space, in the space of our relationships, in the space of our mind and our heart and our soul and our body, the temple of our body, to really look around and go, where have I been living? What's really going on? It's like the lights, we've been living in the dark and our eyes had adjusted and the lights just got turned on. And it's painful at first. It's like, shut that off, it hurts. But then eventually we see what we've been living in. And there's a mess, right? This pandemic and this crisis is showing us just how broken a lot of the systems are. And there's an opportunity to clean them up, to rearrange them, to reorganize and reinvent them. But it's also showing us in our own life how dependent we were on external things, on external people, places, jobs, conditions. When the Starbucks closes down, we're just like freaking out, right? When we can't get everything we want at the push of a button, we start freaking out and we become weak, we become fragile. And that's not who we really are. We are infinite beings of inexhaustible power and wisdom and capacity, and the source of all creation is within us. But we've lost our way, including me. To some degree, it's all relative, but we've lost our way. We've lost sight of what really matters. We've lost sight of what our true values are, what our true priorities are, or at least need to be, if we're going to live a life that's truly thriving, a life that is meaningful. Do you know how many people I've talked to and worked with and read about that had all the baubles of the world, but that were deeply unfulfilled inside? That were in relationships and had all these friends, but were deeply lonely inside? We are in a world right now where we have become so disconnected from ourselves, so disconnected from our deepest soul values and priorities, the real reason for which we came, our true nature and purpose, that we are impoverished in our heart and soul, that we are surrounded by so many distractions and activities and ways to deflect our attention, that we did not see just how crowded and corrupted and calcified our home and the channels of our life have become. So now we have to go home. And if we're willing to do that work, and I really want to invite you to do this for real. Don't just listen to this. Take the time now in this, as Mother Nature has grounded us all, to actually look around our room, look around our life, and go, what are the conversations that I've been putting off? The conversations with myself, the conversations with my partner, my beloveds, my children, my family, my friends. Now is the time to have them. The call is coming. Don't put it on hold. Don't let the call go to voicemail where life gets the message mailbox full. What are the conversations you've been putting off? What are the projects you've been putting off that you can still do? Cleaning up the house, cleaning out the cupboards, cleaning out your car, fixing and finishing the plumbing in the bathroom, whatever, because all of those little tolerations are an outside projection of some way in which you have tolerated broken parts within yourself, incomplete parts within yourself, clogged and calcified places within yourself. It's all one thing. So make a list. What are the projects that I can complete? What about the book you've been wanting to write? The song you've been wanting to complete? The album you've been wanting to create? The paintings you've been wanting to paint? The programs you've been wanting to create? The books you've been wanting to read? What is the art and the projects that you've been putting on hold because you didn't have time? There's nowhere in nature where nature ever says, I don't have time, right? The acorn doesn't go, well, I'd love to be an oak tree, but gosh, I've got so many pine tree things to do today. All of nature has never had a time management problem. And now, right now, for many of us, we don't either. We have time. We have no excuses. Time to have those very important conversations. Time to to focus on completing those projects. Time to look at all the unreconciled pain and trauma and grief, many of which is being reactivated right now, so that we can complete the past and harvest the blessings and the lessons from our past. We have time right now to bring our whole life up to date, up to present time. Because most of us we don't have a future. We just project our past into the present and into the future. We don't get a new year. We just live the same year. Most people don't live 70 to 90 years. They live the same year 70 to 90 times. Just changing their clothes, changing their jobs, changing their cereals, changing partners, changing underwear, hopefully, right? But it's the same story. We have a chance now to live a new story. We have a chance now to live the true story. We have a chance now to not just be props in this divine production or extras waiting in the wings, but to actually discover what is our starring role in this great play of life. We have time now. We've been given the space now. Take a pause, self-reflect. Who am I really? What am I really made of? What is my life really meant for? What are the relationships in my life really made of? What are the conversations I need to have to get them up to speed and up to date? What are the unprocessed wounds and traumas that are clogging up my mental and emotional and physical system, that are breaking down my immune system? Through psychoimmunobiology, they are actually lowering my immune system. We have a chance to get healthier and more awake and more connected and more joyful than ever before. Hey guys, I see you there, Eric and Nathaniel and others. We have a chance right now. This is one of the most monumental moments in modern history. And I don't want us to take it for granted. I don't want us to let this crisis go to waste. I don't want to let this pause just be where we're hitting the snooze button on the alarm. And I don't think you want that either. I know you don't. And if we're willing to do that work and have those tough conversations and heal and clean up our relationships, our marriages, or maybe get honest that it's actually not right anymore and we need to leave, there's going to be a divorce boom, and there's going to be a baby boom, and there's also going to be an explosion of innovation. Some of the greatest ideas, art, technology, scientific discoveries have come from times of quarantine, times of war when people have been locked down, people who have taken the time to just put themselves in isolation to think and create and innovate. We have that chance now. We have the chance to go home and then to really go big. If we do the work now to harvest the blessings and lessons of our past, to complete the past, to complete the conversations, to speak our truth, to ask for what we really need, to start or finish the projects that matter most to us, to sit down and get clear on what do I really want to be, do, create, contribute. What is God life up to as me? Write it down, make a plan, and start putting it in motion as much as we can. And then do the inner work to begin developing the mental and the emotional habits of the person we would be if we were living the life of our dreams. We can do all of that right now. Like the individuals that are paralyzed and they can't move, but they're visualizing and praying and they're coming into alignment with the truth of who they are. And even though they can't move, their body starts to heal itself until eventually, in some cases, they've been able to walk out of the hospital where they would never walk again. Or the tests they've done where they've taken basketball teams and had one team only visualize practicing and another team practice and another team visualize and practice. And the ones that visualized did as well as the ones that practiced but didn't visualize. And that means that even if you can't do everything you want right now, you can build the inner life. You can go big on your inner life. You can activate a sense of joy and power and possibility and wisdom and connection to your source of creation and a sense of vision that is so expansive that you become such a light that you lift up your family and your community and even the world. That's the only way it happens. If you're looking outside wondering when's somebody going to do something about whatever, look in the mirror because it's you, right? You, as I am lifted up, I draw all unto me. You can go home and you can go big right now. Will you? Even if it's hard, even if it's inconvenient, even if you get bored and cabin fever, you have a chance to get more free while you are in captivity than you've ever been when you were free before. Like Nelson Mandela, like many individuals that have gone through the prison ashram program and gotten truly free. And some of them who were convicted ended up getting off. So where are the places you've been convicted in your life? You've been found guilty in yourself. You think you can never overcome it or heal it or get to the next level because of something you've done or not done in the past. That's a prison sentence. You can absolutely get free from that while you're home right now. I just hope you see the grand possibility before us. And I'm not diminishing the pain or the suffering or the fear, or for some of you that may have lost your jobs. That's happening. And we can let our heart break, and we can expand the capacity of our heart for compassion for ourselves and each other. We definitely have to be gentle on ourselves, loving, kind, and patient. But don't let this pause be a vacation. Let it be an expansion. Let it be an opportunity, to really discover and ask the most important questions. Why did I come here? What am I made of? What's the largest vision? What's the vision life, God, love is up to as me? Who do I need to become to really live it to the fullest? What do I need to let go of? What do I need to embrace? What do I need to start doing? What do I need to stop doing? What's being said within me that I have not been willing to hear? What have I been saying that hasn't been heard? What do I really want? What do I really need? If I truly believed life was for me, who would I be? What would I do? How would I show up? How would I serve? These are the kind of questions that are asked by the individuals that live legendary lives. You can turn your current pain or problem or the epidemic into a legendary purpose. You go home now, and now it's time to go big. So I hope this comment. What are the things you're going to complete? What are the conversations you're going to complete? What are the projects you're going to complete? What are the projects you're going to start and commit to completing? What are the things you're going to clean up from the past or the present? How are you going to bring all of your life force into the present moment so you haven't left anything in the past anymore? What's your big vision? What's your big desire and goal? Where 2 or 3 of us are gathered together in agreement on this, we break all the lesser agreements of the world. We create a new morphic field and attractor pattern where we are the law unto our lives. And we will become the light unto the world. And I'm talking to you. All right? So write it down. Make a plan. Share it in the comments. Share this with your loved ones so that they too can go home and go big. And together we really can take our lives, our families, our community, our organizations, our arenas of creative expressions, and the world to a whole new level. We're not here to save the world. We're here to serve the divine vision that's emerging within you. That seed pattern of infinite potential and purpose planted in the soil of your soul. This is an opportunity. In winter, the deepest work takes place. Deep roots bring about tall shoots and rich fruits. This is one of the most important times, perhaps the most important time in modern history. Take advantage of it, and you will take your life to the next level. And I'm going to be here all the way through it and beyond to love you, to support you, to answer questions, to just know that you're in my heart, that I go over the comments, and I'm doing deep inner prayer work and quantum healing work to support you. You can lean into this field. It's real. So again, comment and share what your list is and share it with a loved one, and let's take this all to the next level together. So I love and appreciate you, and until next time, remember, live authentically, love unconditionally, and follow your destiny.